Welcome to Reading Under the Covers, a romance novel podcast. I'm Francesca from Under the Covers book blog, and today I will be sharing my favorite Kindle Unlimited reads for the month of August. So these are books that I personally read in August, and they're still available on Kindle Unlimited as of this recording. So if you want to go and check them out, I definitely recommend them. I have a little bit of everything. I have erotic romance, I have sweet contemporary, I have new adult, and even fantasy romance. So you're bound to find something on this list that you would want to pick up on KU. And I have to say, I've been doing really great at reading Kindle Unlimited titles the past few months. We're already at the end of September as of recording this episode, and I have already read also a ton of KU reads that I will be recommending to you guys next month. Today we're talking about 5 books. Grab your coffee and come and sit with me while I tell you all about them so you can add them to your TBR. But before we get started, I actually wanted to tell you guys about our Under the Covers Insider for Fall, which is currently available to download. Our monthly insider is actually a Substack community feature. We do put out a new little magazine every single month for you guys to see all the books that we recommend for the month, trope of the month, some lifestyle content as well. But for the seasonal guides, we do give them out to everyone for free, and you can simply download the Fall Reading Guide Insider by going to underthecoversinsider.com. I will also leave links down below on how you can do that. I'm super excited about this one. I think this is my favorite insider that I have put together. I have some tips on how you can incorporate the witch court aesthetic into your life and your routine for the season. Some fun recipes like a full simmer pot to get your house smelling all nice, and even a pumpkin spice latte recipe. A list of fall movies that you can watch, whether with your family. There's some family-friendly movies, some scary movies, so you can either host a fall movie night with your friends and family, or just watch them solo. It's going to be perfect to get into the mood for the season. Of course, lots and lots of books. We have the trope of the month, which is voodoo paranormal books. We're telling you some of our recommendations for August, September, and October book releases. Kindle Unlimited books to look out for, which also includes a cozy mystery short stories series that's coming out in the middle of October, which I'm super excited about. And our main feature, which is 42 books that are fall releases categorized in 5 or 6 different categories. So you're going to pick base of your mood. We have some sweater weather, kind of Gilmore Girl vibes, gothic books, horror books, light paranormal, full-on paranormal fantasy books, historical mysteries, and cozy mysteries as well. So there's something in there for everyone. Lots and lots of book recommendations, and you can pick that up at underthecoversinsider.com. Now, if you are a member of our Substack community, you will get something a little extra. One of the activities that we mentioned that you guys could do for the fall is to host a murder mystery dinner party, and we have put together an activity guide on how you can do that, and you can download that within the Substack community. It has character guides, instructions on how to host it, how everybody has to interact for the night. So it'll be a fun activity that you can do with your friends and family for the season. And the last announcement that I have for you guys is we just launched our spooky merchandise collection in our Under the Covers shop. And I'm so excited for you guys to go and check out all the new designs. There's t-shirts, there's sweatshirts, tote bags, mugs, lots of fun merch. And I'm sure that you guys are going to find something in there that's going to be perfect for you to wear this season. You will find all of that by simply going to shop.underthecoversbookblog.com. Again, if you are a member of our Substack community, when you download your guide from inside the community, it will actually come with a coupon code that you can use for the shop. So be sure to check that out as well. But now, with all of that out of the way, let's get right into the Kindle Unlimited recommendations that I have for you guys for the month of August. And you will actually see how the theme of my reading was starting to slightly change for the season. The first book was actually still full on Summer Olympics, and it is Float My Boat by Harry Beaumont. This is a sports romance, and the sports that we're dealing with here is rowing. It's not a sport that I see in romance books too much, but it was really fun to actually explore that, even though it has a little bit of sports, but it's not one of those super heavy sports romances. So the premise of the story is both of our main characters are into rowing, and our heroine already gave up her aspirations of going into the Olympics or anything like that. So she's still involved with the sport, but she's definitely taking care more of her business, and the rowing competitions are just a little bit more on the side. She is dating one other competitor, but dating is sort of a loose word to call that because they didn't really have a real relationship. And her best friend, who is also in the rowing team, offers to basically fake date her to get him to see that he should be getting serious. So it's kind of like tricking this other guy into being interested in her by dating him, making him jealous. But what actually happens is that her best friend has been in love with her since forever. And she just thought that he saw her as a friend and that she didn't really have a shot at being with him. So it's a super sweet story, really fun, very lighthearted. It's a great kind of palate cleanser book between heavier reads, but at the same time, one that you can read in one sitting. It's not very complicated. It's got also all the tropey goodness. So you will definitely enjoy it and get a small glimpse at a sport that we don't see as much in contemporary romances. So I'm excited for that. I would love to really get into reading more sports romances outside of the general, hockey, football, that kind of stuff. Actually, that was my theme for August because I do have one other sports romance that is not one that I normally pick up. The second book that I have is Give Me More by Sarah Kate. This is an erotic romance, and I picked this up because I did a list for the blog of road trip romances, and this one just sounded really fun, and I just picked it up on a whim. I have been really following my mood in terms of what I pick up and what I read, and it's been working well for me, so I'm just going with it, and I'm having no pressure, no guilt, and no responsibilities. So Give Me More is actually book 3 in the Salacious Players series. I decided to pick this up out of order, and I can actually say that it was totally fine to read it out of order. I'm sure that I would have a lot more context, and I may have enjoyed it a little bit more if I had the background about the club itself, because it does center around a BDSM club. But honestly, it was totally fine. If you want to pick it up also like me and read it out of order, you totally can do that. So, like I said, it does center around a BDSM club. This is a polyamorous relationship, it's a menage. And the three main characters are basically involved in owning the club. One of the heroes is, I would say, more of the owner figure, and then his wife. And the third in the relationship is his best friend, who has been in love with both of them for a really long time. He's more of the bad boy of the picture, and he is kind of in charge of all the remodeling that's going on with the club. So I can't actually remember right now if he had a stake in the business itself or he was just a staple figure in the club. But the three of them decide to go on this road trip because they are working on changes for the BDSM club, trying to incorporate new ideas. And obviously, with those ideas, there's going to be renovations that have to be made. And the three of them decide to go on this road trip to basically visit different BDSM clubs, meet with the owners, talk about what works, maybe try to get some new things that they can bring back and incorporate in their BDSM club. So that in and of itself, I thought it was a really clever idea, also giving us different points of view with different kinds of styles of other people and what they do in their clubs. But as they're traveling together and as they're getting exposed to different things at these clubs and sometimes having to participate in those scenes, there is something that comes up. And technically, it's a desire that has been there underlying the whole time that they've known each other, basically. And it just comes to the surface due to them having to go through these events and these things that they're doing at different clubs. So basically, they decide to have a threesome. Obviously, at the beginning, thinking it would be a temporary thing. And as we know, it's a polyamorous relationship. So it ends up being permanent. And it's so angsty. I really love the relationship between each of the characters because we do get to explore the connection basically between the three separate couples. So I thought that that was really good how it was done. I haven't read a ton of erotic romance in a really long time, and I used to read a lot of BDSM books. I think that actually Sarah Kate's books rate quite high in ones that I really used to love. I'm really interested to explore more of her writing. I think that she really got the vibe right. even if I would have loved to see her explore a little bit more the emotional depth, I think it was missing just slightly on both the sex scenes and the physical aspect, and connecting that with the emotional as well. I think that that could have been explored a little bit better, because with BDSM books, I also always really want all of the psychology behind why that scene is there and how that scene is helping the connection and the growth with the couple, because I think that's such an important element in BDSM itself. And also, I would have loved to see the love aspect, especially for the two best friends, because one of them didn't really even accept or even think about that he could have feelings for a man. And I really would have wanted to see that explored slightly more than we got to see in this book. And maybe we do get to see that at some point in the series later on. I feel it was a little bit rushed just for my taste in this particular book towards the end. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend it. And I will definitely be reading more from this author. Now, from erotic, we're going to go to two new adult recommendations. They're both new adult sports romances. The first one was a new release. It's Wicked Surf by Grace Riley. This is book 4 in the Beyond the Play series, and it is obviously new adult sports romance. The hero plays hockey, the heroine plays volleyball, and if you've been following the series, she is the sister of the heroes in the previous books. I was personally really excited for her book. I really enjoyed her character when we've seen her in the previous books, and I really wanted her to have a good HEA. So I was really excited for this one. I think that I am not disappointed at all. It was really good. It was really well done. Also, what I really enjoyed was the kind of forbidden element of their romance, because like I said, the hero is a hockey player and he was going to a different college. Something happens and he ended up getting kicked out, and he enrolls at the same college that she's attending. Now, before this happened, the heroine had a kind of a summer internship working for his mother, and while she was doing that, they had a summer fling, and it was supposed to end there. They were supposed to not talk to each other anymore and just leave it at that, which would have been easy because they were going to different colleges. And it's especially forbidden because our hero is like the rival of her big brother that also plays in the hockey team. They basically hate each other. And now he's ending up as the teammate of her brother, which makes it all the more difficult because now they have to hide their rekindled relationship while they're at college. Another thing that's guaranteed with this series and with this author is lots and lots of steam. This book has all the steam. I really enjoyed that. And also, I think a lot of those scenes are really well done, not just in terms of the physical connection, but I think also they're really well done in moving the emotional connection between the two characters forward, which is what I think a sex scene should be doing in a book anyway. I really think that's something this book did really well. And also, something else that I really enjoy about this series is that we get to see both of the main characters having to go through some really difficult changes or things that they're dealing with their life and their personal life. I mean, they have to learn how to deal with those things themselves individually, where they want to go with their life, like where do they go from here. So definitely very coming of age stories. And also it serves to work with the relationship on how they help each other. So I thought that that's also something that this book did really well, especially seeing the heroine grow from the way that her family was seeing her. We've seen this family so much throughout the series, but seeing the family through her eyes and how she felt that she was being seen and treated, and how she overcame that, and how she really made herself seen for what she wanted in life. So I think that that was also something really well done in this book and really enjoyable to see. And I do have one more new adult sports romance to share, which is kind of weird because I don't really read that much new adult lately. But this one is Night Shift by Annie Crown. It is a basketball romance. Now, where the previous book did have some sport in it, this one has a very little sport in it. I really would have liked to see more of the sport talked about, but this one didn't really have a lot of that. We do know that the main character, the hero, is the star basketball player at the college. And then, other than that, it's slightly talked about a little bit, but not that much. So, that part a little bit of a disappointment for me because I do like them to be a little bit more sports heavy than this one. But if you're into them being light on the sport, then this would be a great one. Also, this is a bookish kind of heroine. She is working part time at the library and she's a voracious romance reader. And during her shift, one late night, the hero comes in. He's looking for some poetry books and he needs her help basically because he needs to dig those up for a project. But he's immediately smitten with her. Definitely hero falls first in this one. And our mousy, kind of more of a recluse, bookish heroine surprises me a little bit in how she handles that first interaction with this really hot basketball player. She's not intimidated by him, or even if she thinks she's intimidated, she didn't act intimidated, which I thought was really refreshing. And then he's not scared to go after her and really go for what he wants, which I think it was just really sweet. It's an uncomplicated, let's say, romance, I think, and just a really cute and adorable book. This is another one that is super fast and lighthearted to read, like the same vibe as the Harry Beaumont that I mentioned before. Perfect if you want to read like between darker books. And plus, I love to see the bookish setting because we do get a little bit of notes inside of books and seeing the library setting and obviously all the talk about romance books. So I really enjoyed that part of the story. And I should also mention that both of these books are great books if you are doing Romanceopoly, which is our year-long reading challenge. They would be perfect for the Campus Corner prompt for this year. And if you are not doing Romanceopoly and you're just hearing about it, you can find out more at romanceopoly.com. But it is a year-long reading challenge that has all kinds of different prompts. You still have time to participate. And even if you feel like you will not finish the challenge, it's all about participating and having a good time anyway. And then the last book that I have for this month is Bride of the Shadow King by Sylvia Mercedes. It's the first book in the Bride of the Shadow King series. And I actually picked this up a while back. I would say it's been sitting on that TBR, like taken out for probably a year, if not longer. And I had added this because it had the trope of an arranged marriage. And I really wanted to read more books that are either paranormal or fantasy with an arranged marriage. So this one sounded right up my alley. I also really love the cover. This series also got new covers. They were re-released on paperback through a publisher. So they do have pretty new covers on paperback, but I still am partial to the Kindle cover with the couple on it. Something else I should also mention with this series is you're not going to get a resolution at the end of book one. So you're going to have to keep reading in the series to get the whole story. I haven't done that yet, so I'm excited to continue. But what we have in this one is our heroine had already gone through sort of an arranged marriage, and that went disastrous and everything fell through. And after that, basically, she was shunned by her family and she hadn't even been living at the palace. But she is brought back to the palace because her sister now has been arranged to marry. Now, the princesses are basically human, and her sister is arranged to be married to the Shadow King. And they are seen as trolls by the human. Her sister is certainly not happy about having to marry him. But on the way back to the palace, the heroine actually meets the Shadow King. And there is this immediate connection between the two of them. She doesn't know that that's him. And once they reach the palace, and they are introduced, he finds out that she's not the one that he's supposed to be marrying, but her sister. There's all this time at court as the families are basically getting to know each other, but everything is set in stone and it's set to proceed. And our heroine doesn't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize the political future or her sister or anything. So she knows that she's not going to act on any of the feelings that she has, as much as maybe he wanted for them to act on it. But when the time comes for her sister to travel to his lands for the marriage, war has basically broken out and her sister dies. And they cannot afford to have this treaty or this pact fell through. So her parents decide to make her replace her sister by making her look like her sister with a magic spell. So it is an arranged marriage, but with some deception. Now, like I said, the story does not end with book one. I am super excited to continue reading on in the series. And I think this is going to be one that is going to be an epic romance. I love how feisty the heroine is and how happy she was anyway for her life shunned away from everybody, which that would totally be fine with me as well. And if I had to compare this book to something that just recently came out, which I also really loved, A Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan had a very similar vibe to this book. And it's kind of funny because I read both of those books in August. So back to back, they felt very, very similar to me. So for sure, if you like one, you'll like the other one. And that's it. That's the 5 Kindle Unlimited books that I read in August that I recommend that you guys add to your TBR. I hope that you like them and that you add them to your reading list. And if you've read any of these, please let me know what you thought of them. Also, if you think that I would like something in base of what I've mentioned that I like, please send it my way. Also, if you have any recommendations and you want us to include them here on the podcast, you can send us a voice note. I'm going to leave in the description how you can do that. Just tell us what's the title of the book that you're recommending, the author, and why you love it. Also, don't forget, download the Fall Insider reading guide. Go to underthecoversinsider.com and grab your copy. And if you are a paid member of our Substack, go to download it right from the community page at underthecoverscommunity.com, because your version there is actually going to have a coupon code that you can use in our merch shop. And don't forget that we just launched our new spooky merch. I'm so excited about all of these designs. I hope you like them. If there's any design that you see that is not on the color or the type of product that you would like to see it in, just reach out and I will see what I can do to accommodate you. As always, you can find all our book recommendations at underthecoversbookblog.com. Don't forget to find us on social at UTC Book Blog on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, X, or Twitter, and Under the Covers Book Blog on Facebook and YouTube. And join us live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube for our Novel Nights live show. Next week, September 26th, we are doing bookish tea. So we're going to have all the tea and all the gossip within the past month that we have collected in the bookish space. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you found some good recommendations, and I will see you guys in the next one with even more. Bye.